Well, Victoria has confirmed 11 new COVID infections in the past 24 hours, which could mean greater restrictions or another lockdown in Victoria. Cabinet ministers are meeting this morning to finalise the next steps after an emergency meeting last night. A lockdown is likely as cases linked to the latest cluster grow to 26. Other states have already responded with border closures. The Northern Territory declaring Greater Melbourne and Bendigo COVID hotspots. South Australia and Queensland closing their borders to the city. Tasmania declaring Whittlesea a high-risk area, and WA enforcing all arrivals from Victoria to be tested and isolate until a negative result is returned. Let's go live now to Julia Bradley for us in Melbourne. Julia, are there any details of what Melbourne residents can expect after this confirmation of more cases overnight?
Well, Laura, right now what the state government is discussing is whether or not they will thrust Victoria back into a lockdown. The fourth lockdown, it's uncertain at this stage whether it would apply to just Melbourne or to the entire state of Victoria. Discussions include whether this needs to be a 5-day circuit breaker or go even further in order to give our contact tracers time to get on top of this latest spread. As you say, a concerning number of new cases reported today, 11 new cases, and also that list of exposure sites rapidly growing and spreading right across the state. We've already heard evidence of contact tracers being overwhelmed because businesses that have been labelled exposure sites have taken to their social media pages to alert customers before they've been listed on the Victoria Health website. So plenty of anticipation for this morning's press conference. We will be hearing from the acting premier and also our health authorities.
And are there more venues on alert even before we get to that media conference?
Absolutely, Laura. We've heard about some worrying exposure sites over the past 24 hours. The MCG caught up in this latest COVID cluster, but also Marvel Stadium after an infected person went to a game there over the weekend. We know an RMIT building is also now classified as an exposure site. Businesses in regional towns such as Bendigo, also a sporting club on the New South Wales-Victorian border. That list of exposure sites is rapidly growing, and that is what is really concerning health authorities today. It's approaching 80 exposure sites. We know that this is the most significant outbreak of the Indian variant of COVID-19, and that's what has everyone on alert, given that it is more infectious and it seems to be rapidly spreading through the community. Laura?
Julia Bradley, thank you. We'll be speaking to you right throughout the morning.